All right, so you guys are going to literally come on a journey with me as I try to awaken some family members from the truth, so they can learn about the truth. And I hope this goes well. Whether it's a massive failure or it's a great thing and I awaken some people, I think it's a great learning experience. And kind of scary, to be honest, but I gotta do it. I can't live with myself and know that I feel morally obligated to try, and I can't live with myself knowing that I didn't try, so I have to try. Wish me the best. Okay, I really hope that this is in focus. I was shooting a vlog earlier today, and I pulled my camera bag out of the car, and the camera lands on the lens to the concrete ground, and now it won't focus anymore, so I have to look into buying an expensive lens, which I'm not looking forward to, but you know, life happens. But I figured out a way to kind of make it work. I think it's in focus right now, so if I apologize if it's not. I've driven an hour away. This is my 4th or 5th attempt at trying to find my mom. And I found her workplace. I'm in my car kind of stalking her right now. She's at work. I see her kind of walk by a couple times, and when she gets into her car, I'm going to drive over there and try to hop out and say, like, hey, Mom, I love you, I miss you, I wanted to make sure you're okay, because she's been out of contact with everyone for a while. If you watched earlier in my vlog, I mentioned her cell phone's dead, and she never returned my phone call when I left a message, like a handwritten note on her car. I can't even talk right now. I'm so nervous. I just want to make sure she's okay, and then establish some kind of contact, figure out what happened, and then maybe work on something for some seeds of thinking for herself, just to see where she's at. She's very, very spiritual, so in the JW religion, she's very much a do-gooder and would hardly do anything wrong. And she's always been an example, so it's going to be difficult and tough. But I need to figure out what's going on, make sure she's okay, and see from there. So as soon as I can't see, yeah, her car's still parked there. So as soon as she comes out of there, I'm going to go park in front of the building and turn my lights off and just kind of wait for her to show her face, and then hop out of the car and be like, hey. I finally made contact with my mother. I didn't know what else to do, but I had to stalk her where her job is. She works at a school. And I waited for like 3 hours. And I jumped out of my car and I put on a big smile on my face, and I walked up to her, and as she was walking to her car, instead of going to the driver's side, she goes to the passenger side and kind of hides, like stands there and stands still. And I just poke my head over and I wave at her. She comes around, and I hold my arms open and I embrace her, and she's she's stiff. Just like, her smile goes just almost exactly like that. Her arms just go to her sides. And she stiffens up, and she's like a robot, and she's like, oh, hey, what do you want? What are you here for? It's just a really cold way of approaching me. And someone whose family, the shunning it really kicked in there. The thousands of people I knew growing up in Pioneers, Bethelites, RBC, like, it sucks to lose them a lot and start over from scratch. But your own family, the only family you have left, does that, and it really hits you really hard. I just parked on the way home. I still have to drive like an hour. I just parked in a random parking lot just to get my thoughts out, because it hurt when she did that. It hurt a lot, and I just put on a smile and I said, you know, it's good to see you. I embraced her. I gave her a kiss on the forehead, a kiss on the cheek, and she's like, you know, what do you want? I have to go. That's what you say to your own flesh and blood. And I stayed calm. I stayed calm because I know that, 90% of that is the cult brainwashing that Jehovah's Witnesses, Scientologists, and many, many religions, Islam, all those ones that are very similar to it, they brainwash you. Amish. Into thinking that anyone who's left for crimes or sins of the flesh, or they just want to go out and fornicate or do drugs or whatever it is. And that's simply not the case all the time. It is a good portion of people that want to go out and do that stuff, but in many cases, many people that are leaving and waking up and or leaving because of that and waking up later, they have reason. Anyway, so I helped her put her stuff in her car, and I said, listen, I've been trying to find you for months. I know you said your phone was down. I came out of here to make sure you're okay, because I haven't heard anything. She said, I have to go because I'm watching a sister who's got some bad health, and another sister is taking her spot, watching her that night, I guess. And she said she had to go, so I had to make this quick. How much time do you have? And she's like, I got like a half hour. And I said, okay, take 2 minutes. I need to use the restroom really badly. She wouldn't even let me in the school that she was in. This is like, fine. So we drove down to a restaurant that had a bathroom. I ran in, went in there, used the restroom, and I came back out. She rolled down her window, and she was upset. And I was preparing myself mentally beforehand that she was going to get emotional upset, but I wasn't 100% prepared for what she was going to say. And she said, like, a lot of hurtful things, like, right off the bat. She's jumped into conclusions, kept cutting me off, saying, Cameron, I don't know why you're here. I cannot take this pain that you're putting me through. That's what she said to me. She said, I can't take this back and forth, whether you're in the truth or whether you're out of the truth. You did this. You chose to be selfish, and you chose to destroy the family and tear the family apart. I'm not at all. I don't have any regrets of raising you as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And she started to tear up. And I tried to reason with her. That the only thing that I could think to reason with her about was scriptures. She kept cutting me off and wasn't listening. I tried to reason with her. I immediately knew right away when she started saying those things and cutting me off that she didn't want to listen. She was just letting out her feelings because they were built up. And that was the cult speaking, not her. Or at least 90% of the cult was speaking. And she said she just couldn't take this back and forth anymore. And I told her, all I could think to do at that point was to try to comfort her. I said that, I'm reading my Bible again, which is absolutely 100% true. I'm reading my Bible again. And that I asked her if she remembered what the sovereign law was in the New Testament. And she said, she just kind of stopped for a second and listened. And I noticed that, and I saw an opportunity to try to speak. So I said, do you know what the sovereign rule is? And she said she wasn't sure. And I said, it's the golden rule. Do unto others as you want them to do to you. And it's love is the sovereign law. To love others. And all laws in the New Testament fall under that law. I said, so we owe it to each other as human beings, and what Jesus said is the sovereign law, to at least talk to each other and figure out what's going on, because I haven't seen her in months and I was worried about her health, or if something had happened to her phone stopped working. I didn't hear anything. I haven't heard anything from her for years, except for every 6 to 12 months. And it clicked. It went through. She said yes. She could do coffee. And then she laid some information on me that I really wasn't prepared to take in. She somehow found out about my YouTube channel and told me that she didn't feel comfortable seeing me in public anymore. And the coffee shop that I mentioned, she said was too public. And that she didn't want to be seen in public with me, so I told her, okay, well, we can meet across the street at a 7-Eleven for all I care. Let's just talk. She stopped talking and kind of looked around, and I could tell she didn't know exactly what to say. But she agreed. Reluctantly. And I told her, thank you. And I hugged her and I said, just hang in there with me. I know you have to go. I asked her for a phone number or some way for her for me to contact her, or through a friend, and she said no. And that's up to the person. She had to ask them first to give me their phone number, which made 0 sense, especially in this case. So there's positive to this story. I don't know how she found out about the YouTube channel. Like, my last name in here is not my last name, and I've kept this under wraps for fear of my friends and family. And they mentally may not be able to handle to see or hear what I'm saying. They may not be ready for that yet. But that explains why the last 6 months or so, and I've only had the channel up for a few months, why her communication has drastically stopped from, hey, come back, I hope you're doing goodbye, click to nothing. This really sucks. To hear those words come out of her. She said a lot of other hurtful things that I may not even repeat. But I've been doing some research on the jw.org website, and there was a video that they took down not too long ago as part of one of last year's hour-long broadcasting about how to shun your own family members. I'm going to show that in my next video clip and go over that, because I think she might have seen that, and it's just not biblical at all. It's a control technique.